Flamingo missile pierces FSB Armiansk's concrete, detonating inside, silencing command networks as screens flicker with no data. Flamingo 3 strikes Sevastopol's pier. Fuel lines erupt, hovercrafts falter, leaving Crimea's coast defenseless in chaos. On August 30th, 2025 at 7 a.m., Ukraine launches Flamingo missiles from Odessa, targeting Russian strongholds in Crimea. Crimea, a Russian military hub, buzzes with generals plotting a new offensive, unaware of Ukraine's bold strike plan. Russian commanders misread Ukraine's moves as defensive. Their focus on attack blinds them to the impending assault. Flamingo missiles, paired with UJ-26 drones, exploit gaps in Russia's S-400 air defense, aiming for maximum disruption. Flamingo missiles, each 7 tons, carry 150-kilo warheads designed to shatter bunkers with devastating precision strikes. Ukraine's strategy hinges on timing, striking when Russian defenses are distracted, creating critical gaps in their radar network. Flamingos are transported openly to launch ramps, drawing S-400 attention while Ukraine prepares a coordinated attack. A millisecond delay in Russian radar tracking could open a window for Ukraine's missiles to slip through undetected. Russian generals, confident in S-400 strength, overlook Ukraine's plan to exploit their weakest defensive moment. UJ-26 kamikaze drones, key to the assault, are activated to blind Russian radar before the missiles strike. At Armiansk, Russia's FSB building hums with activity as intelligence officers plan drone strikes on Ukraine's south. In Sevastopol, patrol boats and fuel lines prepare for coastal defense, unaware of the looming Ukrainian attack. Flamingo missiles with 3,000-kilometer range offer flexible routes, making their launch points unpredictable for Russian defenses. Each Flamingo's 150-kilometer warhead, twice a Tomahawk's power, is built for bunker busting with delayed fuse precision. Composite bodies shield Flamingos from Russian electronic warfare, ensuring they reach targets despite jamming attempts. Flamingos fly low at 20-30 meters under radar horizons, using GNSS, INS, and altimeters for redundant navigation. UJ-26 drones, carrying 25-30-kilo explosives, approach Crimea from northwest and northeast, targeting radar infrastructure. Drones' small radar cross-sections leave minimal traces, slipping past fixed antennas to strike power distribution units. At 7 a.m., drones launch 45 minutes before missiles, setting the stage for a synchronized airspace overload. 3 Flamingo missiles fire at 5-second intervals, following terrain at subsonic 950 km/h to evade radar detection. Russian radar operators, distracted by planning, failed to notice the subtle anomalies in Crimea's air picture. UJ-26 drones hit power cabinets of 96L6 AP radar, causing delays in signal processing without destroying antennas. A waveguide in the MR-10M1 coastal radar breaks, severing signals while the antenna spins uselessly. 4 of 6 UJ-26 drones reach their targets, creating a temporary radar fog that masks the incoming missiles. Pantsir batteries fire reflexively, downing 2 drones, but the surviving 4 disrupt Russia's radar network. The drones' 25-30 kilo payloads target power supplies, not antennas, delaying Russian defenses by critical seconds. Flamingo 1 locks onto FSB Armiansk's command room, its delayed fuse warhead set to explode inside the structure. Flamingo 2 targets the field communications cabin, aiming to cripple power distribution for weeks. At Sevastopol, Flamingo 3 aims for the pier's fuel manifold and command cabin, disrupting coastal operations. Flamingo 1 stabilizes at 20 meters, piercing FSB's concrete shell, detonating to sever the command network. Inside FSB Armiansk, screens light up but data vanishes, leaving commanders in a silent crisis. Flamingo 2 hits the communications cabin, cutting power lines and extending repair times to weeks. Sevastopol's pier erupts as Flamingo 3's warhead ruptures fuel lines, disabling the command cabin instantly. A hovercraft, either A-8 or A-25PS, suffers heavy damage, its mooring lines severed by the blast. Sevastopol's fuel cycle halts, rendering the pier unsafe and delaying patrol boat operations indefinitely. Russian defenses fire desperately, but low-altitude missiles evade interception due to radar horizon limitations. GNSS jamming briefly disrupts Flamingo navigation, but INS and altimeters keep them on target. Ukraine's plan exploits a narrow window where Russian radar delays create a fatal defensive gap. S-400 systems, though powerful, fail to lock onto low-flying Flamingos due to ground clutter and reflections. Coastal reflections confuse Doppler filters, making Flamingos appear as slow, small targets on Russian radar. Ukraine's success hinges on precise timing, with drones and missiles overloading defenses in a single minute. 2 UJ-26 drones fall to panzer fire, but the remaining 4 ensure radar disruption for the missiles. Flamingo 1's internal explosion destroys FSB's network backbone, paralyzing command and control functions. Flamingo 2's strike extends the FSB base's recovery time, leaving it operationally blind for weeks. Sevastopol's pier, now a wreck, cannot support patrol boats, crippling Russia's coastal security. The low-altitude profile below 30 meters keeps Flamingos hidden until they're nearly overhead. Russian radar only detects targets at 20-25 kilometers due to the Earth's curvature, too late for interception. Ukraine's redundant navigation, GNSS, INS, and digital train reference ensures missiles hit despite jamming. The attack's precision exploits a millisecond window, turning Russian confidence into a fatal flaw. FSB Armiansk's administrative shell stands, but its command systems are reduced to silent ruins. Sevastopol's fuel manifold, shattered by Flamingo 3, halts all harbor operations for days. Russia's layered defenses, though robust, crumble under the time pressure of drones and missiles. Ukraine's strategy proves that even advanced S-400 systems can be outmaneuvered with precise execution. The attack's success shows the power of low-altitude geometry and coordinated timing in modern warfare. Russian commanders, caught off guard, waste critical seconds on screens showing no actionable data. UJ-26 drones' small payloads create just enough delay to let Flamingos strike their targets unopposed. Flamingo missiles' composite bodies resist Russian jamming, ensuring they reach their designated targets. The 150 kW warheads deliver devastating force, collapsing critical infrastructure with single strikes. Ukraine's planners calculated every risk, from radar delays to potential GNSS jamming failures. The operation's success lies in exploiting a brief window where Russian defenses are overwhelmed. Sevastopol's pier, now in chaos, cannot support patrol boats, leaving the coast vulnerable. FSB Armiansk's loss of command function paralyzes Russian coordination in the region. The attack's timing, down to seconds, ensures drones and missiles hit simultaneously for maximum impact. Russian radar operators, slowed by drone strikes, cannot react before Flamingos reach their targets. Ukraine's use of terrain-following flight profiles keeps missiles below the radar horizon until impact. The operation's design distributes targets across multiple points, preventing Russian focus on one threat. Flamingo 1's delayed fuse warhead maximizes internal damage, targeting FSB's critical network hubs. Flamingo 2's strike on the communications cabin ensures long-term disruption of Russian operations. Sevastopol's fuel line rupture halts all patrol boat activity, a major blow to coastal defense. Russian defenses, expecting a frontal assault, are blindsided by the low-altitude missile approach. The attack's success proves that even layered defenses can be breached with precise coordination. Ukraine's redundant navigation systems counter Russian jamming, keeping missiles on course. The operation's planning accounts for every variable, from drone losses to radar recovery attempts. FSB Armiansk's command room, though intact externally, is a hollow shell after the missile strike. Sevastopol's pier, crippled by Flamingo 3, leaves patrol boats stranded and inoperable. Russian radar systems, slowed by drone strikes, fail to lock onto the incoming Flamingo missiles. The attack's precision ensures that all 3 Flamingo missiles hit their targets without error. Ukraine's strategy exploits the S-400's radar horizon limitation, a critical flaw in low-altitude defense. Flamingo missiles' subsonic speed and low profile make them nearly invisible to Russian radar. The operation's success hinges on creating a brief but fatal delay in Russian radar processing. FSB Armiansk's network backbone, severed by Flamingo 1, leaves the base operationally dead. Sevastopol's fuel manifold, destroyed by Flamingo 3, halts all harbor operations instantly. Russian commanders, unaware of the attack's scale, are left scrambling in a data blackout. Ukraine's drones and missiles work in tandem, overwhelming Russian defenses in a single minute. The attack's design ensures that no single point of failure can derail the operation. Flamingo missile's 3,000-kilometer range allows Ukraine to launch from unpredictable locations. The operation's success shows the power of combining drones and missiles in modern warfare. Russian radar operators, slowed by drone-induced delays, cannot counter the missile strikes. Flamingo 1's internal explosion at FSB Armiansk destroys critical command infrastructure. Flamingo 2's strike on the communications cabin ensures weeks of Russian operational chaos. Sevastopol's pier, now a wreck, cannot support patrol boats, crippling coastal security. The attack's low-altitude approach exploits the S-400's inability to track below 30 meters. Ukraine's planners anticipated Russian jamming, using redundant navigation to ensure accuracy. The operation's timing, down to milliseconds, ensures drones and missiles hit simultaneously. Russian defenses, expecting a conventional assault, are blindsided by a coordinated strike. Flamingo missiles' composite bodies resist electronic warfare, reaching targets unhindered. The attack's success proves that even advanced defenses can be breached with precision. FSB Armiansk's command room, hit by Flamingo 1, loses all operational capability. Sevastopol's fuel line, shattered by Flamingo 3, halts patrol boat operations for days. Russian radar systems, disrupted by drones, fail to detect the low-flying Flamingo missiles. The operation's design distributes targets to maximize disruption across multiple points. Flamingo 1's delayed fuse warhead ensures maximum damage inside FSB Armiansk's structure. Flamingo 2's strike on the communications cabin delays Russian recovery for weeks. Sevastopol's pier, crippled by Flamingo 3, leaves Russia's coastal defense in disarray. The attack's low-altitude profile keeps missiles hidden until they're nearly at their targets. Ukraine's redundant navigation systems counter Russian jamming, ensuring missile accuracy. The operation's success lies in exploiting a brief window of Russian defensive weakness. FSB Armiansk's network, severed by Flamingo 1, leaves the base operationally paralyzed. Sevastopol's fuel manifold, destroyed by Flamingo 3, halts all harbor operations. Russian radar operators, slowed by drone strikes, cannot react in time to stop the missiles. The attack's precision ensures that all 3 Flamingo missiles hit their targets flawlessly. Ukraine's strategy exploits the S-400's radar horizon limitation, a fatal flaw in defense. Flamingo missiles' subsonic speed and low profile make them nearly invisible to radar. The operation's success hinges on creating a critical delay in Russian radar processing. FSB Armiansk's command room, hit by Flamingo 1, is left in operational silence. Sevastopol's pier, wrecked by Flamingo 3, cannot support patrol boats, crippling security. Russian defenses, expecting a frontal assault, are outmaneuvered by the low-altitude strike. Ukraine's drones and missiles overload Russian defenses in a perfectly timed assault. The operation's design ensures no single failure can derail the attack's success. Flamingo missile's 3,000-kilometer range allows Ukraine to launch from unpredictable locations. The attack's success shows the power of combining drones and missiles in warfare. Russian radar operators, delayed by drones, fail to counter the incoming missile strikes. Flamingo 1's explosion at FSB Armiansk destroys critical command infrastructure instantly. Flamingo 2's strike on the communications cabin ensures long-term Russian chaos. Sevastopol's pier, crippled by Flamingo 3, leaves patrol boats stranded and inoperable. The attack's low-altitude approach exploits the S-400's inability to track below 30 meters. Ukraine's navigation systems counter Russian jamming, keeping missiles on target. The operation's timing ensures drones and missiles hit simultaneously for maximum impact. Russian defenses, blindsided by the coordinated strike, cannot respond in time. Flamingo missiles' composite bodies resist jamming, ensuring they reach their targets. The attack's success proves that even advanced defenses can be breached with precision. FSB Armiansk's command room, hit by Flamingo 1, loses all operational capability. Sevastopol's fuel line, shattered by Flamingo 3, halts patrol boat operations. Russian radar systems, disrupted by drones, fail to detect the low-flying missiles. The operation's design distributes targets to maximize disruption across multiple points. Flamingo 1's delayed fuse warhead ensures maximum damage inside FSB Armiansk. Flamingo 2's strike on the communications cabin delays Russian recovery for weeks. Sevastopol's pier, wrecked by Flamingo 3, leaves Russia's coastal defense in chaos. The attack's low-altitude profile keeps missiles hidden until they're nearly at targets. Ukraine's redundant navigation systems ensure missile accuracy despite Russian jamming. The operation's success lies in exploiting a brief window of Russian defensive weakness. FSB Armiansk's network, severed by Flamingo 1, leaves the base operationally dead. Sevastopol's fuel manifold, destroyed by Flamingo 3, halts all harbor operations. Russian radar operators slowed by drone strikes cannot react to stop the missiles. The attack's precision ensures all 3 Flamingo missiles hit their targets flawlessly. Ukraine's strategy exploits the S-400's radar horizon limitation, a fatal defensive flaw. The operation's success shows the power of low-altitude geometry in modern warfare. Ukraine's strike proves that precision and timing can breach even the strongest defenses.